Hello everyone. Today I'm just making another update for Strattera. It has been a week since my last post on Strattera, and I actually almost didn't want to do it because it is the similar situation as in the beginning. Um, so that I don't have that much positive to say about today. But I figured actually it may be better to make an update in the moment when things are not going perfectly well, so that you can know exactly what you can expect when Strattera is not working 100%. And as I expected from the beginning, even though I am always trying to stay positive, Strattera, or probably any medication, is never going to work 100%. So you have to expect that there will be some, let's call it downtime, because hopefully it's a shorter and shorter process that may one day be eliminated completely. But that being said, today is not great. Um, it has been how much? 3 weeks since, well, as I said in the 3 month review, Strattera kicked in and I started to do all the good things. And actually, I wanted to mention what the good things are, because these are great metrics for judging your executive function, or the connection between your wants and your do's. I basically call it executive discipline, just for my own internal purposes. What I mean by that is about 4 weeks ago, actually, I started to do all the right things that I know that I want to do. So I stopped drinking completely, I started fasting, I started to exercise, I started to make videos, prepare my stuff for work, and just fix up some overdue payments, remove some subscriptions that were billing me for no reason, ADHD stuff. So I repaired all of this. And over this period of 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it worked quite well. And today is a day when it's not working that well. I had severe brain fog at work, and I would say I experienced two types of this feeling. One is that it actually feels like a fog, so that I can't think much at all. Uh, but that usually clears pretty quickly. You can even clear it with like deep breaths and a little bit of fresh air and some exercise. And then there's like the bored mind fog or brain fog, that basically you're thinking clearly, but like you're not in the moment, to a point where that's almost ridiculous. Like if someone was looking over my shoulder at what I was doing on the computer, they would think that I'm either sleeping or insane, because I read something, and that means that I want to do an action, I want to check an invoice, I want to look at some customers, and I just click at something completely else, and then I'm like, oh, where am I? What is this screen? Oh, okay, let's go back. And I look at the same invoice again. I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to do this. No, this is not it. Oh, what was I doing? And like this, so everything takes me about 3 times as long. It's pretty annoying. You can again get out of it a little bit by just getting the blood flowing, breathing a little bit of air. But even something like a walk or a little bit of a run sometimes can get brain fogged as well. So you just lose your thoughts while you're walking or running, and then it doesn't help very much at all. So that was my today's experience. And in the afternoon, my mood was just horrible. Like when I got back, I felt really negative about everything and irritated, and I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to talk to my girlfriend about anything. The fortunate thing is that I at least separate the feelings, the emotion from what is actual reality. So I can say something like, look, it's not your fault at all. I'm just not in a very good mental space. I feel extremely irritated for no reason. It's better if we just let me have a little bit of time uh, to find my center again. So that's good. It's always try to remember to rationally check your own emotions before you act on them. Especially if you have a problem like this, but this goes for everyone. We all do illogical mistakes out of emotions. Just take a second, be mindful, check yourself, and think if what you're about to do or say is actually based on reality or if that's just one of your weird emotions at the moment. So, the important thing about Strattera is that yes, I'm thinking about what it would do if I had an additional, a little like weak stimulant that would offset, possibly offset these like weaker moments. Because even when I discussed it with my psychiatrist, he felt like Strattera may not be completely enough for all of my symptoms, as I have quite a large amount of ADHD symptoms. I will see, and if I ever get some stimulant medication, I will definitely update you. But the more important thing that I want to know is how quickly I will be able to bounce back from it. And that's getting me to the metrics, because that's why it's very, very useful to have these good habits that require your executive center to be fully connected. Because you can immediately see when something goes wrong, when it's not fully connected, because you will start to feel like you don't want to really do these things anymore. And the the more challenging your goal is, like for example, the fasting can be quite challenging for some people if it's like a prolonged fast for 4 days, water fasting, for example. You can quickly see that something is not right, because in the beginning, or not in this beginning, every time when I'm in my, let's say, good place, I have no problem with keeping the fast, because I have the goal and the executive center is connected, and the goal overrides my reptilian brain, so to say. So the basic cravings, like, oh, I would like to have something sweet right now, is overridden by the knowledge and by the drive towards a more important goal, which is health and fitness and looking better and weight loss and all this stuff. So you can immediately see when the executive function starts to fade a little bit, because you will get more cravings and they will be more difficult to resist. The same goes for exercise. It's going to get more difficult as your focus shifts more towards the emotional and towards the primitive brain. So it is not only useful because you benefit from it, from the activities themselves. They are antidepressive, so to say, and they, well, obviously they are helpful, that's why you do them, so they are helpful by default, but also they are great bioindicators of how your medication is working and how you are progressing with your ADHD, or even other possible problems. Just by the way, I'm now looking into BPD, because some of these symptoms of ADHD are actually quite similar, and I've had some childhood experiences that would point towards possible development of this psychological issue. And for a long time, I suspected that I probably don't have any more neurological, physiological problems, I hope. But I may have some psychological ones, which are not really treated by any medication, but are more treated through therapy or just, self-help and changing your mindset and stuff like that. I definitely think that there might be still some residual ones. I have cleared many of them through the self-help and through the years of changing my thoughts on things, and through mindfulness. But if I can identify where I came from and if I actually had some of these, I will be very happy to inform you about that. And I think that I may already have some tips on how to deal with them, because I believe that most of, if I ever found out that I do or did have the BPD, borderline personality, I have probably cleared 90% of the symptoms already by myself. So that would be interesting. And the final thing I wanted to bring up is that I will continue to monitor the Strattera, and I am really looking forward to seeing how quickly I bounce back from this state, because one of the most important things is that we all get kind of depressed sometimes. This is not, I would say, regular depression, as in a regular bad mood. It's a little bit more serious than that, especially combined with the crazy brain fog. But even so, the main problem of it becomes a real problem when you cannot remove it in a speedy fashion. So if it just lasts for a couple of hours or a day or 2 days even, that's quite fine. But if it lasts for a quarter of a year, then you can see how much more dangerous that can be and how much progress you can unmake within that period where you are not in full control of your faculties. So yeah, yeah. By the way, that's atomoxetine. That's the same stuff that's in Strattera. That's actually the molecule. I have no idea why I put it there. I just wanted to have some background. So I like chemical mumbo jumbo pictures because I studied veterinary university and we had a lot of biochemistry there. I don't remember anything of that anymore. So yeah, I will give you an update soon. I think that latest in another week, but if I have something interesting sooner, I will definitely let you know. So yeah, a weekday for sure. But hey, at least I made the video, right? It's getting better. It's progress. I expected this. If I bounce back from it in a day or two, there's gonna be a huge, huge, huge difference for the better compared to my untreated me. So guys, see you tomorrow, hopefully with some more interesting video than just a random update, and a bad one at that, on the medication.